Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm your host of Tell Me Wine TV, where we try to answer your questions about wine right here on the internet. And today we're with Leo Schneemann of the KGNY Group here at the Upholstery Room in the West Village, a new spot, relatively new spot that's just opened up, a wine bar specializing in the wines of Austria and the food of Austria, and specifically the food of Kurt Gutenbrunner. See, these names are difficult, but I'm getting them. And a lot of people have been emailing us about Austrian wines and what they mean, and just to become more knowledgeable on them. From my point of view, Brunner Veltliner is becoming a more important varietal in terms of consumers' awareness, and people are asking about them more, and so we thought we'd come right here to, not the birthplace of Brunner Veltliner, but at least a place where we're going to learn a lot about it. So Leo, if you could, just tell us a little bit about yourself, first starting from birth.
Hello, I'm Leo. I'm working with Kurt Gutenbrunner since 2 years. I'm doing the wine buying for him since 2 years, and specialized in Austrian and a little bit of German wines. Our focus is to bring the Austrian wines to the United States, and I think it's not just me. I think when Kurt started 10 years ago, we didn't have a lot of wines in. Right now we are able to bring 300, 400, 500, 500 positions on our wine list. Here at the Upholstery Room we have around 50 positions on the menu where you can choose from. It's not just Grüner Veltliner. We're focusing here a little bit more on the grape varieties which people don't know. It's like Fumin, Muscateller, Rieslings from Austria, and all this. Let's put it this way: grapes which are not that well known than the Grüner.
Right.
The Grüner Veltliner, there's what to say to Grüner Veltliner? There's nothing to say anymore, because if you go all around the city, you have the Grüner Veltliner in an Italian restaurant, you have the Grüner Veltliner in the hippest bar, and you have the Grüner Veltliner in a fine dining restaurant. But that shows me that Grüner Veltliner is very flexible from the beginning on until the high-end qualities. And that's the main thing on Grüner Veltliner, because you can have it fresh, crisp, easy. What's typical in Grüner Veltliner is you have apple notes, you have little pepper notes in there, you don't have too much acidity, and it's easy and nice drinkable. And you can have it up to from 11% of alcohol up to 14.5% of alcohol, with where you have these ripe apple notes. Sometimes they're working a little bit with the botrytis, where they make them bigger, where they make them fuller. But the good thing on a Grüner Veltliner is that he's still in a price range where it is affordable.
Right. So whereas, a lot of people associate Grüners with value, whereas a top bottling of Burgundy is going to be in the hundreds of dollars, if not more. Top Gruner probably will be in I'm talking about it retail, will be in the low hundreds.
Yeah.
Correct. So the top bottling of Brunner Veltliner in the world is probably a fraction of the price of a top.
Exactly. I mean, the top winemaker, or the most famous winemaker in Austria, is for sure FX Bichler. He's in the Wacher region. It's also the most famous white wine region in Austria, and his stylistic is actually amazing, because you have to get the balance between using botrytis and bring so much elegance in the wines that it's so nice and easy drinkable, like he does. Because usually if you have some wines, it doesn't matter which part in this of this world it is, wines with 13.5, 14% alcohol, you can just drink one glass and then your palate is done.
Right.
It's too heavy, it's too big for you. But this is the nice Sabat on this Grüner.
Right.
Grüner.
Now you talked about botrytis, and so for people watching this, that's when the grape is affected by noble rot.
Noble rot, yeah, the good one.
And so the good one. And so is that's I mean this is I'm learning something that I've never heard of a winemaker actually using a combination of, I guess I'll call fresh juice with noble rot juice in order to enhance or to enrich, make the wine richer.
Exactly, that's what you said. You make the wine a little richer. I don't want to say that the Austrian Grüne Veltliner producer, everybody will use Botrytis. You have to. A lot of them, and like when we are talking about Hirzberger, or when we are talking not about Prager, he doesn't do it that much, but when we are talking about Hirzberger, he used it. He used the botrytis in a positive way, just to make it rounder, to make it a little fuller, and to make it nicer for you.
Right.
It's a pleasure to drink a glass of.
So is that something that's a result of consumer demand? You know, are people saying, I want a Gruner to be richer, and these producers have responded to that, or is this stylistically something that they've always done?
I think that was always a stylist out of this region, because especially if you see Prague and Hirzberger, both what we are having here, they are out of the Wacher region. And the Wacher region, through the Wacher region goes the Danube River, which means you have a lot of humidity there. You have the sun during the day, you have the water during the night, and you have these stone hills and these stone walls what they're building to keep the warm climate during the night. So that means it's always a combination of warm water, humidity, which is very easy for the noble rot
to come alive.
Exactly.
So when people come to your restaurants, or the restaurants, and they see just Austrian wines, do you ever get any kind of, not backlash, but like, where's my White Zinfandel? Not that anybody's asking for it.
I don't think, because Kurt made his name since 10 years as the Austrian pioneer in town. But a funny story from last Saturday, I had a couple in the first time. They were from the Hamptons, and they came in and said, "Where are we?" I never saw something like that. I mean, there was schnitzel on the menu and a smoked trout consomme, and then what is it, Grüne Veltliner, and what is it, Zweigel? And he said, "Is it German or is it Austrian?" I said, "It's Austrian based." So I said, and where's the Cabernet from Joseph Wallse? I said, "Sir, we have a little problem with that, but we will find something else." But it turned out, after 2.5 hours at the restaurant, it turned out that he was so happy that he booked the table for the next day again, because he never had such a product for such a certain amount of price. Where I don't want to say it's on a lower price point, but it's in a medium price range, where you get a really nice quality.
True. So in general, I mean, I think, like I said before, I think Austrian wines have part of the notion is that they do deliver on value. We talked about food pairing ability and the flexibility that's provided in the wine itself. What about aging? Do Gruners age as well as other?
That's a good question. I don't want to go too far or too back. We had a big scandal in the late 80s, but I don't want to speak about the scandal. So we are able, and the biggest quality that we are growing quality, the white wines, it's a big hype since 15 years. But if you go back, and I have here especially a 99 Riesling from the winery Nikolaihof, which is 11 years old right now, which is still fruit forward, white peach apricot, still a freshness because the minerality was so high, and you have a alcohol point of between 12.5%. So yes, we are totally able to age them for 10 to 15
Or more.
Or more.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So what is the oldest Gruner, oldest Austrian wine that you've ever had?
1980, Gruner Veltliner Leubenberg from the winery Knoll.
So
And actually, I was pretty impressed the other day. I saw it in Manhattan again, and I bought the last bottle.
maybe the last bottle in the world.
Could be. I don't know.
Could be. All right. So let's just talk a little about what's. I don't know what's in our glass specifically, but tell our viewers about what they should expect from I want to say a typical glass of Gruner that that typifies it. What profile do they look for that differentiates Gruner from like Sauvignon Blanc or not sure. We don't have to get into the specifics, but more about what makes Gruner Gruner.
What makes Gruner Gruner? A Gruner makes, and we talked about a Gruner before already. A Gruner is smooth. A Gruner has, if you smell in this glass, a Gruner has this apple flavors. A Gruner has a kind of spiciness. A Gruner has so many more flavors which going in a riper apple than it could go in this tropical fruits when it goes on the riper side. But my point on a Gruner Veltliner is, and I don't want to repeat myself, a Gruner is a pleasure and easy to drink, from fresh and crispy up to rich
and a little decadent.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, Leo, thank you. We're gonna do another show, but I appreciate it, Leo.
And Prost.
Prost. And keep sending your questions into Tell Me Wine TV.